This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. CSUN students and faculty scramble as half of campus loses power. Hurricane Matthews forces millions to evacuate, and high school, college, and professional sports teams are starting to postpone games. Hello, and welcome to Matador News. I'm Jacob Gonzalez.
And I'm Haley Spellman. Let's go straight to Matador News reporter Angely Levis with more on the recent power outage at CSUN.
Thanks, Haley. The power is back on, but a few hours ago, Cal State University Northridge students and staff were evacuated from the Oviatt Library after a campus-wide power outage. The fire department was called due to suspicious black smoke inside the library.
Campus went black, and you have emergency power generators. And sometimes those generators, if they haven't started in a month, they usually do a monthly check of the generators. They run off of diesel. And then when they're cold, they smoke a lot when they initially start up. So they kind of bellowage black smoke.
By 9:20, students were advised to exit the library in an orderly fashion. Many students were concerned the power outage would affect presidential candidate Jill Stein's speech hosted by Associated Students.
One of the main parts of CSUN is down, the Oviatt. So, I mean, I'm really hoping they get it going soon because Jill Stein's supposed to be here. There are kids trying to work, so.
Many other buildings on campus were temporarily closed, and some classes were canceled as a result of the blackout. There were no reported injuries, and classes have resumed. Now, back to Jacob in the studio.
Thanks, Angely. President Obama has issued a state of emergency for the state of Florida. Hurricane Matthew has strengthened to a Category 4 as it makes its way along the coast. After killing 98 people and causing major damage to Haiti, the hurricane is now currently near the Bahamas, moving towards the U.S. coast at 12 miles per hour. Florida Governor Rick Scott says the best emergency procedure is for residents to evacuate now.
Are you willing to take a chance to risk your life? Are you willing to take a gamble? That's what you're doing.
Officials say the storm's wind speeds have reached up to 140 miles per hour. Matthew is expected to hit Florida's coast tonight.
Law enforcement officials, firefighters, and Lancaster community gather to honor LA Sheriff Sergeant Steve Owen, who was shot and killed Wednesday. Owen was responding to a burglary call while searching the back of the apartment building. A gunman appeared and shot him. After a lengthy pursuit throughout the neighborhood, the gunman was captured and is currently in custody. Owen was shot in the face with a large caliber bullet and taken to Antelope Valley Hospital. Mayor R. Rex Paris says the doctors brought Owen back 3 times, but were never able to stabilize him. Owen was a 29-year veteran who previously won the agency's highest honor of courage.
New York Knicks point guard Derrick Rose continues his civil trial today in Los Angeles. The accuser's lawyer, Joaquin McCoy, says Rose and his 2 friends took turns raping his client, who is testifying today. Rose was excused for the first day by the judge in order to play in a preseason game, but is set to testify this morning. The victim and ex-girlfriend of Rose has asked the jury to award her $21 million. The name of the alleged victim has not been released. Los Angeles police officials say they are continuing to investigate for possible criminal trials.
Pentagon officials report 44 Afghan troops in the U.S. for military training have gone missing since January 2015. Officials say these troops may be attempting to find illegal work and permanent residence in America. Approximately 2,200 Afghan troops have received military training in the United States since 2007. Pentagon spokesman Adam Stump says there is no evidence any of the runaway troops have carried out crimes or posed a threat to America. Stump adds that the Defense Department is always assessing ways to strengthen eligibility criteria and reduce the amount of disappearing soldiers.
In Syria, the eastern part of the city Aleppo could be destroyed by the end of this year if Russian airstrikes continue. The UN envoy for Syria, Staffan de Mistura, directly appealed to the Syrian government and Russia to end the conflict.
In maximum 2 months, 2.5 months, the city of eastern Aleppo at this rate may be totally destroyed. We're talking about old city in particular, and thousands of Syrian civilians, not terrorists, will be killed.
In the 5-year-long war, tens of thousands of Aleppo residents have died. Diplomatic efforts to receive ceasefire have failed since its collapse last month.
With more on the clownpocalypse coming to CSUN, here's Matador News reporter Nadia Garcia.
Recent clown sightings have CSUN students talking. CSUN police say a clown near the CSUN dorms chased down 2 students Tuesday night. Some CSUN students say they are concerned going home from class.
Because I live like not on campus but around campus, I feel very not scared but like more like precautious, and I didn't think I had to like go through that. Like going home, I thought that was just something like just come to school and leave, but now I have to be more aware.
Other students aren't too concerned about the clowns on campus. They take it as a joke.
I'm not concerned about my safety. I'm concerned about them clown safety, because I mean, I'm pretty sure there's less people dressing up as clowns and there's more people, you know, just going out.
People on social media have been uploading images of clown sightings in their town. People across the country have been on high alert since the clown outbreak has grown. Now let's go to Daniel Martindale with everything in sports.
Thanks, Nadia. Well, it's an even year, and San Francisco came through in a giant way again last night. The 3-time World Series champion shocked the New York Mets in the winner-take-all National League wildcard game. It was a perennial pitcher's duel between Giants ace Madison Bumgarner and Mets ace Noah Syndergaard. Syndergaard threw a gem, giving up 2 hits in 7 innings before being lifted for the bullpen. But that's when the Giants struck in dramatic fashion. Third baseman Connor Gillespie broke a 9-inning scoreless tie by launching a 3-run home run to right center. Madison Bumgarner continued his habit of playoff dominance. He pitched all 9 innings for a complete game shutout. His postseason scoreless streak is now at 23 innings.
Right center field.
The Giants put away the Mets and will now go to Wrigley Field for a first-round playoff matchup against the MLB's best team, the Chicago Cubs. Now, the Giants won the World Series from the wild card position in 2014. Now, the Dodgers worked out in Washington, D.C. last night in preparation for their first-round series with the Nationals. The first pitch of Game 1 is tomorrow at 2:30. The Dodgers will start Clayton Kershaw, while Washington will counter with Max Scherzer. The Toronto, Texas, and Boston, Cleveland series will start today. Hurricane Matthew is starting to affect sports in the American Southeast. Several high school football games throughout Florida and coastal Georgia have already been canceled or postponed. And a Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning preseason hockey game was also canceled. The Miami Dolphins are set to play a home game against the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, but league officials say the game may now be moved to Nashville, Tennessee. This weekend's big college football matchups, including the interstate rivalry game between Florida State and Miami, are also still set to go on as scheduled. The storm could extend its reach as far north as Washington, D.C. Forecasters are saying Saturday's Dodgers-Nationals game could be delayed by severe wind and rain. Now let's go to Matador News reporter, anchor Cynthia Marin with the latest in business.
Oil prices are increasing by the day. They have risen about 1%, making them the highest in 4 months. Oil has increased more than $6 a barrel since the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries gathered in Algeria in late September. OPEC representatives will meet with non-OPEC member Russia next week in Istanbul. No decisions are expected at that meeting, but they will be discussing steps needed before their next meeting in Vienna. Twitter stocks are plunging this morning following reports that neither Google or Disney will pursue a formal bid for the social network. Tech publication Recode reports Google doesn't plan on making a bid and wasn't moving forward with any effort to do so. Twitter told potential buyers it wants to conclude selling negotiations by its third quarter earnings report on October 27th. Google was one of the top names on the potential acquirer list, along with Salesforce and Disney. Now, let's go back to Daniel with updates on health.
Thanks, Cynthia. A new study says the longest people should expect to live is 115 years. A child born in the U.S. had an average life expectancy of just 50 years in 1900, but an American child born today can expect to live an average of 79 years. The study from researchers at Albert Einstein College of Medicine says people's life expectancy is not likely to continue to go up. Taking hormonal birth control may be linked to an increased risk of depression. Danish scientists have known for decades women's sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone, have had an influence on many women's moods. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 30% of women who have used the pill in the U.S. have quit using it because of side effects. Researchers looked at more than 1 million Danish women between the ages of 15 and 34 over the 14 years. The researchers found the use of hormonal birth control was positively linked to a depression diagnosis, and the use of antidepressants. There was a 40% increased risk of depression after 6 months compared to women who didn't use hormonal birth control. Now let's go back to Cynthia with news and entertainment.
It's a no for Demi Lovato in 2017. Demi says she is taking a break from her career. Lovato turned to Twitter 2 days ago saying she was not meant for the media and the business. Just recently, she stirred up drama when she criticized Taylor Swift and her Girl Squad. Lovato was currently on tour with Nick Jonas. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are having a boy. The couple revealed their pregnancy in June. This morning, the expectant father spilled the beans on the baby's gender during an interview on the Today Show. Kutcher says daughter Wyatt points to Mila's stomach and says baby brother. The couple married last year in a secret ceremony. That's all for entertainment. Back to you, Jacob.
Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Jacob Gonzalez.
I'm Haley Spellman.
I'm Cynthia Marin.
And I'm Daniel Martindale.